Now, regular listeners may recall that last year we spoke to Rebecca Valentine, just weeks after she launched the Grey Model Agency, which was started specifically to represent older models. Well, the agency has gone from strength to strength, and I'm delighted to welcome into the studio two models who are signed to Grey, Frances Dunscombe and Tessa Sanderson, a voice and name from the past. Well, thank you both for joining us today. You both have quite different stories. So, Frances, if I can start with you, when did you first start modelling?
When I was 82, which was 2 years ago.
82?
That's right.
And what made you think that you could start modelling at 82? Because there are an awful lot of people out there who would say, that's the last thing on my mind.
I didn't think I could, but my daughter, one day she said, oh, Mum, what about coming up to an agency in London? It's just opening and it represents older people. And in my usual sort of vaguely reluctant manner, what hope is there? Okay, I'm so bored, let's go. And up we went to London. And yes, Rebecca grabbed me, literally.
And starting a new career at the age of 82, how did you feel about that? Were you a bit nervous?
Well, I think it's certainly I was quite nervous. But, I think it's a natural follow-on for someone who really liked dance. Yes, because the movement in modelling, the poses, one would hope would carry some sort of message.
And we should tell our listeners, of course, that you are now an award-winning model. So congratulations about that. Now, I mean, some people might not believe this, but you have helped to create an absolutely extraordinary nude photograph.
That was quite funny, really. I'm not sure whether Josh would approve of this, but...
Josh being the photographer.
The photographer. But I actually was photographed, I thought, half nude. But because one wore something casual and loose in order to enable you to move freely, and I did a 3-hour workout for Josh, I was moving, twisting, pushing, pulling. I didn't realise that my track bottoms were slipping down. Consequently, it becomes a nude rather than a semi-nude. So that I was quite surprised when I saw the picture at the gallery.
But it's extraordinary because it is an award-winning photograph which has created a huge amount of comment. Yes. Sort of extraordinarily beautiful because it's what you would expect an 82-year-old person to look like.
It was interesting, the flattering comments that came my way, and a particular comment that was made time and time again was, "Are you a dancer?" Of course. I thought, it's interesting. Yeah. Yes, that was my real passion.
It didn't work out. It didn't work out that way. No. But 40 or 50 years ago, would you have thought that at the age of 82 you would be modelling for a nude photograph?
How could I possibly? Look how young people look upon age.
Yeah. But there is a lesson here, isn't there, that you should always be prepared for the unexpected to happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and seize it, embrace it.
And they are more prepared, surely, these days, because they're forever having to change jobs. They don't take up one job and look for the pension at the end of it.
Yeah, and people are working much later in life. That's anyway,
right.
Sometimes because they have to, but
that's right.
At other times because it basically keeps you busy and keeps your mind active.
Exactly.
Okay, well, Tessa, your turn now. Now, obviously, you've had a very illustrious career as a professional athlete, including taking part in 6 Olympic Games. You've got a gold for javelin throwing. Was modelling something you ever thought you'd pursue?
No, not exactly, but I was always someone that loved fashion, loved clothes, always wanted to look smart, but, all right for the occasion. So it was important to me about the way you dress and the way you feel. It was important to me about image and that sort of thing. But as for modelling, I never thought I'd be look to the catwalk person. I'm still not that way inclined now. It's more high fashion and that sort of thing. But I think Yeah, it's a great pathway that I'm looking to now and looking to enjoy, but it's also still that competitive element and feeling, that you have, that if something comes along, you're going to be on your call and ready to move and ready to do the right thing. So,
and you have to do auditions for all of these, don't you? You
yeah,
have to,
yeah,
it's
absolutely.
it's like a beauty parade, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I think so. I mean, after the games, I did do something for on the catwalk type of thing for a charity, but it wasn't anything like your big models and things do. But it was fun, and I enjoyed that. So it's not really a shock now that I think this is something that I'd like to do.
And how did you come to join Grey?
Well, I tell you what, Martin, it was really funny because I have two adopted twins who are just absolutely fantastic and look gorgeous, girl and boy. So we signed them up to this modelling agency beforehand, but I wasn't really over the world, with the agency at the time. So I was saying to my niece Rachel, okay, right, I'm going to look and find an agency now that suits them because I don't understand why they're not getting a lot of work as such, and their character's beautiful, and when you have your own children, so right? And so I started flicking through these pages and on the laptop and looking, and ups it popped. There it was, came up Grey Model Agency, and immediately I have to say, when I looked at it, I thought, well, okay, probably it's going to be, something that's not going to be very downbeat, like when I did this fashion show and they bought me all these oldie, flimby, whatever clothes that wasn't right. But I thought, no, let me have a look. And then I saw this lady herself, Frances, and I have to say I'm quite amazed now because of her vigour and everything like that, and the way she looks and the way she feels. And that's what was coming out at me at this at Grey Models, and I thought the perfect age group, 50 plus. I'm 60 now. I don't want to be 22 or anything like that. They're interested about what you wear, what's put out there about women 50 plus and their clothing. Shops need to promote a lot more. I felt I had a lot of this that I could project, and I thought, let me give these a call and be really cheeky. So what I did, I wrote to them on my laptop and I said, hey, you know what, I'm looking to sort of have a go at this modelling, and this is what I've done, and I'm this size, my weight has gone down, I've lost about 3 stone in weight, and I feel great. I'm 60 but I feel bit younger, so I wasn't over the top. And they wrote back to me, which I really didn't expect that quick, and said that they were just absolutely over the world. They loved the photograph that I sent in, the one photo.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they came, Rebecca, who's a darling, came back and said, we'd love to have a go with you. And I jumped with excitement, forget my twins now,
yeah.
and I jumped with excitement, and yeah.
And of course, the Grey power that people have, the Grey financial power, is substantial.
Yeah.
So it makes sense for the modelling world, the fashion world, to actually reflect people of the same age as those who are actually doing the buying.
Well, I think it makes great sense because even people now who are younger than, Frances and I are, I'm hoping that they will look up in a sense. And a lot of them do, because even my niece do, and said, Auntie Tessa said, she goes and picks some of my clothes for me. Not that I want to be 22, as I'm saying, but, you want to feel that you fit in society, you look well, and what you wear, you look well in. And I think a lot of the stores and people nowadays need to realise that and dress accordingly to what 50 plus wants.
Do you think that attitudes to age are changing?
What do you think?
Frances is shaking her head.
Too slowly. Frumpiness in the area that I live. Okay, they're making a few changes to their appearances, but they haven't got any oomph.
I think
haven't got.
But you're talking about older people themselves who need a bit more
right.
oomph. Yeah.
Yes, and that's something you either have or you haven't, and they can never
50
aspire
plus.
to, I don't think.
I think 50 plus has changed a lot, don't you? Because it's changed a lot in the sense that all my girlfriends, a lot of those who are 50 plus, they're up and going and want to do things, and if the leather fits, then wear it. It's that sort of thing.
Yes, quite.
And
yes.
the makeup and all that, we put on our slap when we feel like, because hey.
And still, you will find newspapers which will report, my God, she's such and such an age, she shouldn't be wearing these leather this, or she shouldn't be wearing. Depends upon the person. If she's got
crazy.
the figure, if she's got the right figure and the right attitude,
Yeah.
That's what matters.
That's right,
Yeah.
and there was a feature only a few days ago with Sandra Howard in the Daily Mail, modelling different leather trousers.
didn't see those.
Well,
yeah,
I tell you what, you talk about the papers.